So I've seen a short clip of the Tyson Fury and the True Geordie interview where Tyson Fury is basically kicking off at him. Now, I already watched True Geordie. I like Tyson Fury as well. I'm going to watch it now. I'm going to react for it, watch the whole thing through, give you my opinions, give you what I think the crack is, and yeah, we're just going to basically just see what we think, because from that clip, Tyson Fury looks like a bit of a dick, being honest, but we'll see. So.
Welcome back to the True Geordie YouTube channel. Today's guest is the heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury. So, Tyson, how are you today, mate? You all right?
Good.
Yeah? Right, KSI's last fight, did you see it?
I didn't. I'm not going to lie. I didn't see him. When did he fight?
Don't look happy.
It was like a month ago. He was interested in fighting Tommy. I think obviously him and Jake Paul have got this thing. Tommy's involved. Yeah. I wondered what you thought of it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the YouTube boxing, the level is terrible. Like, the level, like the standard of actual boxing ability is pretty shocking. But I enjoy watching it myself. Two guys that are both willing to give it their all, willing to give 100%. Both coming at it, it's enjoyable, it's fun. You also get some belter fights as well. So, I mean, I watch it all. I can see why he doesn't being the heavyweight champion of the world, but that's fair enough. Well, I would say Jake Paul beats Tommy Fury, but that's a topic of discussion for another day, isn't it?
Training camp for a real fight. So yeah, I don't watch all that YouTube stuff.
All right.
Not that I've got anything against it. I think it's great for the sport and great for the people who do it. Great for everybody, but it's not my cup of tea. If I want to see a real fight, I go down to a Morecambe Boozer on a Friday night and I watch a fight.
Getting into it now, like.
Conor Benn, that's the big news of the day. I wanted to get a little bit of your impression of this. He tested positive for a female fertility drug. And obviously we were hearing from Eddie Hearn that when everything comes out, we'll all realise that Conor was probably innocent.
Now, the Conor Benn situation, I personally think he has took the supplements himself. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a professional fighter. He's one of the best paid ones. He's under Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. I think it's a bit stupid, really, to say he didn't know what was in it. Realistically, he probably has taken something. He had to get up the weight. Now, I love Conor Benn, a lot of respect for Conor Benn, but after what's happened, the 2 drug tests in a row, it's hard to give him that level of respect, because then fighters he's beat previously are also wondering, well, was he on the juice when I fought him? Was he taking PEDs? I mean, I hope there is a way to prove his innocence, because like I say, he's very good for the sport. He's exciting, he's dynamite, but sort of just foils his reputation, doesn't it?
And today it's come out that 2 tests from 2 separate occasions from a month apart, or at least a month apart, were both positive. And the only thing that they're saying is contamination is what their excuse for it. What do you make of it?
Again, it's none of my business, so don't get involved. And again, like you're speaking to Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. I am my own man. I'm not a sheep. I don't follow the cliche of, oh, let's talk about someone because it's in fashion. I don't give a toss what they do.
That's fair enough. Nothing's doing really, is it? But it's just your opinion, innit, at the end of the day. I feel like Tyson Fury's being very hostile throughout the whole thing. Not really much need for it. Like, from the second the interview starts, he's being hostile and he's argumentative, and do you know what I mean? He's normally quite a happy, jovial guy. Maybe there's something wrong with Tyson Fury, we just don't know, do we? But
none of my business. I keep this nose in what concerns me, and I don't get involved in other people's business. Period.
I understand why Tyson Fury's not giving his opinion on all these things as well, because he just don't want to get involved in the beef. But at the end of the day, it's just an opinion, and you've chosen to do the interview.
I guess the part of the reason I was interested is because Eddie Hearn was one of the biggest speakers on behalf of Conor Benn, and you've had your back and forths with Eddie, and in regards to the Anthony Joshua fight collapse, which is your business, he tried to point the finger at you, blaming you for your deadlines, saying it was your fault and not his fault. Looking back at that whole situation, it did become a bit of a mess. How do you feel about that now?
You know, I'm over Eddie Hearn and Joshua, so if they want to blame me, blame me. I'll take the blame, no problem. It was all me. I'm scared. Muscles. Them weights he lifts and all the, how much of a badass he is, and those 3 losses in his last 5 fights absolutely terrified me. So yeah, blame me. I'm the man. I'll be the fall guy. Don't care. I'm just over them. Don't want to mention them. Not interested in them at all. There will be no more contact or no more mention of those suckers.
Really?
He's over Eddie Hearn and Joshua, but Derek Chisora's with Eddie Hearn, and so, I mean, that just completely contradicts the fact that he's made the fight with Derek Chisora, saying he's over Eddie Hearn and Joshua. I mean, there's lots of stipulations about that fight, back and forth, people saying different things. It's hard to actually find the truth because it's basically just one person's voice against another person's voice, just what you believe in it. But, I mean, the deadline scenarios that he was giving AJ was a bit ridiculous. It sort of annoyed everyone because AJ said yes to the fight, publicly said yes to the fight. He took the fight, he signed the contract. And then Tyson Fury just kept saying there's a deadline, and sort of going above and beyond his promotion, which isn't really what you do. But again, fair enough, Tyson Fury is Tyson Fury at the end of the day. Sort of something what you're expecting it, but
Really?
Back of the queue, out of the line, and in the cold of the Wolves. Nowhere to go.
Because
had the chance and blew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The confusion comes from the outside looking in anyway, and this is something that a lot of your fans have commented on, is Chisora has the same promoter, same management team, and yet he didn't get a deadline. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, exactly what I just said. Chisora is with the exact same people that Anthony Joshua is. But there was no deadlines for Chisora, and there was no, you need to have it signed by then. Obviously, while he's put this fight out to Anthony Joshua, there's been talks going on in the background between Fury and Chisora, obviously, for it to get signed this quick. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers. I don't actually know what's gone on. I just think the Anthony Joshua fight was never going to happen. He got everyone hyped up. Sort of just makes boxing look bad. The Derek Chisora fight, he wants that fight because it's an easy fight. But
Chisora didn't get a deadline. Chisora just agreed to fight.
Or publicly, there was no deadline to our knowledge, because obviously he made it very public about the AJ deadline, whereas Chisora seemed to get extra time, and that seemed to be a much smoother process. Why was that different?
Chisora's got balls. There's no P's and Q's about it. Chisora's got balls. Stepped up to the plate, agreed to the fight, agreed to everything that was on the table.
As a fan point of view, obviously I make videos, but ultimately I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you. You're one of my favourite fighters, and the things that made me connect with you and many others is you always seem to take on challenges that other people wouldn't do. From Klitschko going into his backyard, or taking the Wilder fight after you'd been through the hell and back, and the way you took on your mental health difficulties in public. I always felt like there's a man who takes on a challenge, and that's why this Chisora fight, I think, is rubbing people up the wrong way, is because it doesn't feel like you're doing your usual thing that we love you for, which is it's not a challenge for you.
I like Tyson Fury's shirt. It says "You Big Dosser" all over it. It's pretty cool shirt, to be fair. What
is a challenge, though? Getting an opponent's a challenge. That's the challenge.
But then again, I agree with Tyson Fury. What is a challenge for him? The best heavyweight in the world. What is a challenge? Who is going to push him? Anthony Joshua, Usyk, Joe Joyce, maybe. Other than that, no one. But I get where Fury's going from. Because who is going to fight him at the end of the day?
First of all, when I made him the return and comeback fight, I offered it to Alexander Usyk. He said he wanted the WBC crown, and it was held by gypsies. I think we all seen that video. I said it is held by gypsies, held by the Gypsy King, yada, 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 so on and so forth. You want it? Come and get it. So he was offered a very lot of money, which I'm not at liberty to say on camera, to fight on December the 3rd. But he said he needed a 6 months training camp or some stupidness like that. I don't know. I don't get involved in the nitty-gritty.
That's a bit mad. 6 months is a very long training camp. Don't know why Usyk's saying that if he has said that. But then again, it's like, what can you believe? Because Tyson Fury at the minute is just spewing bullshit everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, what can you believe? He's messed about the general public that much, saying the fights are on, this is happening, that's happening, and then gets matched against Chisora.
So he declined it. So then I went to the.
Why not take the 6 months though? Why not wait for a Usyk? Why get Chisora?
He's a good interviewer. Brian, very good interviewer. He's persistent. He's on it. I rate it. I've rated him so far in this interview. I do like him in his podcast, to be fair, but
because it's my career. Why would I wait for somebody else? Some little Ukrainian foreign dosser. It's on my terms.
You like his shirt,
I run boxing. I don't dance to somebody else's tune. Their times will come. Whether they step up to the plate, they step up to the plate. But
it's all very logical, and definitely no arguments with what you've said there. It's just that it feels like there could have been other fighters who you haven't fought in the top 50 and who would have also taken the opportunity, you know, and who would have offered a lot more intrigue to your fans than Chisora, when you've obviously beaten Chisora so easily before.
Usyk beat Joshua, didn't he, quite easily?
Yeah.
And Chisora pushed Usyk all the way. 50-50 fight. So if Chisora's no good, then neither is Usyk.
Well, I mean, potentially, but I mean, you know, that's a fair argument, but also it's more just the intrigue. For fans, we want interesting matchups. And I mean, you beat Chisora with one arm behind your back, basically, and to a point where it was getting booed last time.
A long time ago. But I also beat Deontay Wilder twice and then did a rematch with him. And I can guarantee you there won't be one person in the world who would not want to see a 4 fight between me and Wilder, and I've already beaten him 3 times. But even if you want to go at liberty, 2 times in a draw. But people would want to see that again, right?
Like, because Deontay Wilder dropped you multiple times, nearly won the fight. And it was a belter. That was one of the greatest heavyweight fights in history. Your fight with Chisora got booed. There's a difference between you fighting Deontay Wilder for a 4th time and fighting Chisora. I mean, how Tyson?
I think people would want to see it because Deontay has that X factor in his hand and he can change a fight at any moment. Whereas Chisora, he's lost 50% of his last 50 in fights. And even the last fight he won was a razor-thin decision. And the other 3, his last 4 were losses. So
very close losses to high-level opponents.
Oh, they are high-level. There's no doubt, yeah.
Yeah. He's had good victories along the way as well.
I just think that we've seen so much of you in Chisora, enough to know, has the old dog learned new tricks? I mean, he doesn't look like he's getting better with Parker battering him the way he did, and it just looks like it's an easy money fight for you. I don't think that that's what you've put yourself across as you're about, which is why there's some confusion there for your fans.
But we've seen him fight Chisora twice, and both times it was easy. The thing is, it's the unknown. If he fights Joshua, we've never seen that. If he fights Usyk, we've never seen that. We don't know what would happen. But he's fought Chisora twice and won easily twice. Like, that's what Brian's saying.
Well,
it's also history making.
Why is it history making?
I'm going to enlighten you.
Okay.
I'll be the first heavyweight champion in history to complete 2 trilogies. So now you know why it makes more sense to fight him than some foreign person who nobody knows. So also, you take the top 15. There is a few foreigners in there who nobody knows about. Yeah, with undefeated records. But when I fight them foreigners, people are not interested anyway. You're better off with somebody you know who's a household name, who people can relate to and support and sing, "Oh, Derek Chisora," than somebody you can't even say the guy's name, who we've never heard of. He could be shit, he could be good. So you pick somebody out the top 15. Pick one. Anybody you want.
I mean,
they're all about the same.
Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce, great fight. Tyson Fury versus Joe the Juggernaut Joyce. Great fight.
Joe Joyce had just fought Joe Parker and even said publicly he wouldn't be ready for the 3rd.
Okay.
Don't forget, we've been through all of these.
No, not for the 3rd.
From my point of view, I hear you compared a lot to the greats.
End of December or
And
January. You
for
know what I
me,
mean?
you're
Just
right up there.
no one
you know?
wants to
But the
see this
difference
fight.
is I think with Muhammad Ali, with Lennox Lewis, you look back at their career and you can say these guys fought everyone in their era. And right now, that seems to be a real struggle for you. I'm not saying it's your fault.
There's only Joshua left of my era. That's it.
So he's just slated Anthony Joshua and said Anthony Joshua's lost 3 out of his last 5. And then he's defending Derek Chisora for winning 1 of his last 4, even though Chisora's opposition haven't been as high level as Joshua has faced. And he's just said, yeah, the world class, but so were Anthony Joshua's. Do you know what I mean? Like, annoying me this, like.
And you couldn't make him fight me if he's going to give him 50 million.
I think Joshua, Usyk and Joyce all pose interesting
They're not
questions.
my era. Usyk and Joyce are not my era. They
Don't give a damn about legacy.
They were still changing nappies when I was a champion. I was world heavyweight champion while they were boxing for a plastic cup.
They are. Brian's copying what I'm saying, but they are still your era. You're the heavyweight champion and they are challenging, they are number 1 contenders, so they are in your era. Why are you not? They're still your era, even though you're older than they are. Although you probably...
I mean, either way, I think it adds to your legacy, and when you talk about legacy...
But one thing that you underestimate, my friend, is I don't give one damn about legacy. Do you understand
talk about
that?
it a fair bit, though, right?
But Joe Joyce,
ever.
Usyk and Joshua are in front of you, lad.
Because
So therefore, you're not
do you know what?
beating all these
About
people.
what people think about me, or how many belts I won, or what fights didn't happen. It's no interest. You go back to all the press conferences and see. No interest in legacy, no interest in being remembered, no interest in belts. Check it
After
out.
your last... okay, I have heard you say this before, but I've also heard you say, I'm the greatest of all time, many, many times. And to me, if that's not of interest of you, why say it?
Because I am. I beat any man born from his mother.
But Joe Joyce, Usyk and Joshua are in front of you, lad. So therefore, you're not beating all these people.
But you haven't proven that, is my point.
You can't prove it because you can't go back in time and fight all the greats. You can only beat whoever's in front of you, and that's it.
Okay, well, I think.
What is it that you're getting at here anyway?
What I'm getting at is, I think the Chisora fight you're charging the great British public hard-earned money to watch this on pay-per-view, and when you've already beaten him twice and he's shown that he is nowhere near up to your level.
Twice, and people still paid for it.
I think Deontay Wilder is of a much more dangerous fight, hence why he put you down multiple times, whereas Chisora, he ain't going to put you down if he's in there with a hammer with you.
You know he can't put anybody down.
Well, I'm not saying he can't put anyone down, it's just he won't put you down.
How do you know that?
I don't believe so, because he struggled so much with you last time that the crowd were booing towards the end of the fight because it was so
styles
boring.
Make fights. Chisora's done what he's got to do. And no matter what you say or what people like you want to say about Derek Chisora, he's achieved more than in boxing and in fighting than 10 men like you could ever achieve.
And anything can happen. But you've got Derek Chisora, who is not that much of a powerhouse, and he's much past his prime, against Tyson Fury, who's probably got the best chin in boxing, not just British boxing, but in boxing in general. Now, he's saying that there's always a puncher's chance at heavyweight, but there's just not really when these are the two people that are coming together.
I agree with you.
I'm not just going to let you sit here and slate somebody who's fought the best fighters of this era.
I'm not slating him. I just don't think he's good enough to be in there with you anymore. I think Derek Chisora is a legend of what you can achieve with war in your heart. But he is not up to your level.
And he's done a lot. He's done a lot in the sport, and he deserves this payday. And I'm willing to give it.
In the sport, yeah, he has. Been very good for the sport. He's been very exciting for the sport. He's been known for ages. He brings excitement, but not against the best boxer in the heavyweight division.
And that's
is this about the payday for Chisora for you a little bit? Is this you sorting out an old mate a little bit? I know you gave him your word.
Chisora does what he does, and he fights people, and he gets his wins, and he's had more lives than a cat. But it is what it is. I'll be fighting Chisora, and that's it.
He's definitely not getting better. Definitely not getting better. Age is against Derek Chisora. He's getting on. It's ticking. He's losing fights. Yes, he won his last one, scraped it, but mate, Tyson is still in his prime, really. Derek is past it and even further past it. We want an exciting fight that people get excited for. Boxing needs a big fight to sort of spruce it up. Jake Paul is taking over the boxing scene because of shithousery like this.
Look forward to it. And if you don't want to watch it, then please don't. And if you do, tune in. And if you don't want to buy a ticket, don't buy a ticket. And if you do, we let the rest of the 50 or 60 odd thousand that's already bought tickets. So
one last question about Usyk.
I beg to differ with you because there's already been over 60,000 tickets sold. So somebody's obviously interested in the fight.
That's fair enough. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. If you do want to watch it, watch it. But I get what Brian's saying. Like, at the end of the day, boxing is not in the best place it's been. We've had the Eubank and Ben fallout. We've had loads more fallouts. The AJ Fury fallout. Loads of shit is happening at the minute. Jake Paul, KSI and YouTuber boxing is looking better than actual boxing, which is kind of a joke. But I do understand what he's saying. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, then don't. But at the end of the day, it's not something that we want to see.
Well, I think people are interested in you because you are great. And I don't dispute that for 1 second, Tyson. But what people really want is...
You can see where I'm coming from. I can't let you probably never had a fight in your life. Run Chisora down. He's fought everybody.
I'm not doing that.
I cannot let that happen.
I'm just saying the facts are he's lost 50% of his last 15 fights and isn't at the level
he's fought
that you're
at. World level. And he fought what is now the unified heavyweight champion of the world in Usyk, pushed him all the way. So somebody who can't fight doesn't do that.
I never said he can't fight though. What I'm saying is with his record right now, I don't think he should be getting a world title fight.
He did have a good fight with Usyk. It was Usyk's step-up fight. It was a very good fight, actually. But, again, Usyk's then gone out there and he's beat AJ twice. So now no one wants to see that. So Tyson Fury's options are fight Usyk, fight Joshua, or fight Joyce. Rather than going back and fighting someone who's completely past it. In my opinion. Shouldn't be getting a world title fight. Should not have a world title shot when he's lost 3 of his last 4 fights. I think that's ridiculous.
And I think there's a potential in boxing for people to get badly hurt when they're mismatched. And I think that this is a mismatch.
I don't. I think the heavyweight fights and anything can happen. Don't write Derek Chisora off because you're only 1 punch away from victory.
If Chisora does it, I think the world would be happy for him. Even you. You'd be the one on the receiving end of it. Big thanks for taking the interview, Tyson. I understand where you're coming from. I appreciate you and Derek are legends of British boxing. All respect.
Tyson is fuming. I think this is where he kicks off.
In that sense. And I wish you the best of luck, mate. See you next time. Cheers, mate.
I think you're a tosser, you little toss-pot.
Thanks.
And I won't be doing any more interviews with you little toss-pot bearded.
No worries, mate. Thanks very much.
Kiss my balls, you little wank. You little shit house.
Have you worked out how to close this phone? Are you all right? Hit the button at the bottom.
Mate, why was he so fuming? I think True Geordie's done well there on the interview. I think he asked him all the right questions. I think Tyson Fury lost his head a bit. I think Tyson Fury, at the end of the day, he's trying to promote a fight no one wants to see. Complete mismatch. The fight has already been made. The fight has already been signed, so there's nothing they can do. I think there's no need for him there to kick off at Brian. I think Brian was just doing his job. Tyson said he was happy to take the interview, but all in all, I think Tyson Fury, mate, you need to sort yourself out a bit because it's not the best that we've seen of you. You're a hero. You're a legend. You're the best heavyweight boxer of the current generation. We just want to see you fight different people. And, yeah, you're not really giving us that. So, but thanks for watching. It's been Joe Russell. Hope you enjoy.